What is up, besties? It is your girl, the Karmic DF, back to you again with another video. And this time, considering that it is spooky season and we got Halloween tomorrow, I did our regular community poll. So never forget to check out the community section because that's where y'all votes count. And we, I guess, are doing the Antichrist in today's video. So I watched like 3 YouTube videos and did a Google search so that I have some information. And so bear with me as I don't know ish about the Bible. But basically, if you guys don't know the story of the Antichrist, I'm going to give my little summary. If it's not good enough, y'all can just add to the comment section. But basically, apparently, the Antichrist is an opponent of the Messiah, someone named John in the Bible. I don't know. It says that he predicted, like it's not of God, it's anti-Jesus, multiple antichrists, but there's going to be one major one that's empowered by Satan. Apparently they're supposed to rule the world for 3.5 years, fight and win against Christians or Catholic. I don't remember which ones. Catholics, Christians, same thing. I know it's not, don't freak out, but for me it is. And apparently getting a mark to control people on your head or your hand. And apparently Jesus is coming back to defeat this Antichrist and throw him into a lake of fire. Apparently they think it could be a politician who wants a peace treaty with Israel to rebuild the temple, just to destroy it. So that's the information that I got. And so here we are. I'm doing this before I do the reading because, well, obviously I think my face kind of shows my little bit of bias. I'm interested to see if there is at least some form of truth to this. So as always, this is alleged and for entertainment purposes only. What is up to my regulars? What is up, besties? How are you guys doing? I hope that you have plans for Halloween and you guys are excited. Let me know what you guys are doing for Halloween down in the comments. I have a lineup of all of my favorite Halloween movies. I bought a pumpkin that I would love to show you guys, but I told them that I wanted something small, and so they gave me a basketball and a half-size pumpkin. So I'm going to be making pumpkin seeds for 5 years. So that's what I'll be doing this Halloween, and just dressing up and living my best life. Kids don't really come to our house, which kind of sucks, but it is what it is. So yeah, we're going to take a look, see if there's any validity to the Antichrist, if there's anyone that maybe we should know about. I know there's a lot of theories that Hitler could have been one, Trump could have been one. And listen, can we just have we need to have a moment, besties, and y'all can skip ahead if you don't want to have this moment with me. I did a big mistake and I Googled myself and I found on Reddit that people are calling me a MAGA supporter, which is why they've canceled hanging out on my channel. Listen, I have said this numerous times. I don't have any favorite, right? I think we need real systemic change from the ground up. I think we need to throw out everyone who's in politics and bring in new people. So that was kind of a bummer. So if you guys are on Reddit, say some nice things, please, because I should have never Googled bestie. That was disappointing. I'm just a person like you. If you watched the George Carlin video that I reposted, that's kind of how I feel about voting. So again, don't forget to always check out the community poll. So I'm going to still go in open-minded. If there is an Antichrist, I want to know about it. You know what I mean? So that we could be prepared. But we've done readings in the past where I've covered the Bible and stuff like that. And a lot of times shit gets lost in translation. So I'm hoping to see if there is some validity to it, what we can get from it. And if not, whatever spirit needs to share. I'm open, even with my biases. I'd rather get the truth than get my bias accurate. I don't give a fuck about that. That's not my interest. So yeah, I think that's really it. I don't know much more about the Antichrist, so I can't fully cover on that. So we will dive into that in the reading. As always, this is alleged and for entertainment purposes only, bestie. There are 0 facts here. Clearly, it's not like I've been right on a lot of shit over the years. But anyway, what else? yeah, just have an awesome time on Halloween if you're seeing this when I put it out. And, you know, if you're someone who you've been healing and maybe you're home a lot and you're more introverted nowadays because you realize quality is better than quantity, you could still have fun, bestie. You could make the best out of anything. Like, y'all saw when I made that post where I made beer pong off of my vanity so I could play alone by myself with my own house music. Like, it's really perception and perspective that can make life go from negative to positive. So just don't forget that, just as a general rule of thumb. It's how you look at the world. But without further ado, all legend and for entertainment purposes only. Thank you to everybody that sits through 30 seconds of ads. It's a free and easy way to support my page. And if you're a new bestie here, smash that subscribe button because your vote counts here. And we have a good time. Next year is going to be crazy. I have a whole notepad full of ideas for future videos that I'm not going to share because people like to steal my ideas. I don't want that to happen. But we have a lot to look forward to next year, as well as finishing up this year. I think I covered everything. Yeah. If you guys like me, help me out on Reddit because I'm being dragged and I don't really appreciate it. I'm just a person. Like, I can't make anybody happy. Like, I'm going to piss off somebody. Think about it. If 7,000 people are following me, people are going to disagree with me. That's bound to happen. You know what I mean? But if we could just keep it respectful in the comments, especially when we cover things like religion and stuff like that, you know, even though I'm not big on religion, I still respect your right to believe. And I respect your right to have your own opinion. So please keep it kind and copacetic in the comments because we've fostered a really healthy environment and I don't want to lose that. But yeah, I think that's it. We're just going to dive into the cards. So if you are new here, my besties know what's up. A timeless message prior to the reading. Again, you do not have to be spiritual in order to stick around for this. All you have to do is lean into your intuition and go, do I think this reading could potentially have a message for me? And if you want to stick around, then watch it because it's probably for you. But if you're like, nah, don't feel it at all, then go ahead to the timestamps and get straight ahead to the Antichrist part of this reading. So depending on where I see you, besties, all alleged and all for entertainment purposes only. Also, do you like my eye? My eye glitter here? Yeah, I try to dress up for Halloween week. That's the best I could do, y'all. I dress up like a dude when I'm not on camera, so I put sparkles on. But yeah, anyway, all alleged and for entertainment purposes only, besties. Without further ado, let's get into it. All right, besties. So if you guys stuck around for the timeless message, then this message is for you. So as always, take what resonates. Do not let the rest take away from you. If you want to book a private reading with me, thekarmicdf.com in the description box below. But without further ado, besties, and let me know if this resonates. And if you guys enjoy the fact that I've brought this back, let me know. Because I want to make sure you guys are into the collective messages. But without further ado, a general message from Spirit. What does the collective need to know today? I'm hearing slow ride, take it easy. Why not? Are we just going to keep having the same cards? What's happening? Okay. Okay, are you guys... Okay, remember, take what resonates, don't let the rest take away from you. Are you guys doing like an inventory of the past? This could be relationships in the past, friendships. This could be as far back as your parents. Like, what we have right here is the Nine of Swords reversed, the Nine of Pentacles reversed, Six of Cups. So I feel like you're taking inventory of your relationships, both good and bad. It's kind of reminding me of like Build-A-Bear. So like build a hoe, build a housewife, build a man, like that type of energy. Where we're kind of reflecting on where we may have went wrong and taking accountability, even if we weren't the bad guy, you know what I mean? Because even though a lot of times there's a villain and a victim, there are things that the victim can do to empower themselves so that they don't have to be a victim anymore. You know what I mean? And I feel like a lot of you are kind of digging within to figure out, well, if I release this trauma, maybe I can begin to have a life that works well with me. And maybe if I do some like moral inventory, it keeps reminding me of the AA. We sought moral inventory. I don't know if I have some AA people in here, shout out. But it's like seeking moral inventory, realizing what we've lost. And it's just kind of giving me this vibe of like, I think a lot of you might be drawn back to like childhood, even childhood things. So like they remind me of how I went on like a whole millennial kick where I bought my millennial cups and stuff like that. So a lot of you might be kind of like having some nostalgic moments. But what this is telling me is that it's helping you release the old to make way for the new with the Six of Wands on the back. Oh my God, yeah. With the Emperor, yeah, and the Page of Cups. It's like we're relearning about our inner child so that we can become strong from the inside out, because strength also takes a brave heart, you know what I mean? And so I feel like a lot of you are focused right now on your success for whatever that means to you, whether that's a business, whether that's feeling stable in your life, whether that's a healthy, happy relationship, whether that's better connections, whatever it is for you. I feel like Spirit, and if you haven't done this already, then Spirit's kind of asking you to lean into it, because after 9 comes 10, which is a completion of a chapter. And with these 2 9s here, it's telling me that the more we feel our feelings, the more that we honor them, the more that we, again, it's kind of reminding me of like taking an inventory of maybe like, let's say if it's relationships, taking an inventory of all of our exes. What did we like? What did we not like? So that when we're ready to step out again, we know what red flags we want to stay away from. We know what are our non-negotiables. You know what I mean? It feels a lot like things might be coming up. I think some of you might be batting it down because I keep being drawn to the fact that his eyes are being covered. So some of you might be trying to run away from yourself right now. No judgment. I've been there, done that, wrote the book. But Spirit's kind of asking you to lean into the feelings as they arise. I feel like I have an eyelash and I don't know. It's just irritating the piss out of me right now. I'm not going to lie. And yeah, you might be scatterbrained right now too, because like, I feel like I'm very aware of everything else right now. So again, I feel like you guys might be, take what resonates, but I feel like some of you might be kind of running away from your feelings because it's like, what is this going to do me? I don't need to be sitting here worried about my ex from 5 years ago. But here's the thing. When things from the past come up into our conscious awareness, it's our subconscious mind going, hey, I'm ready for new. And this past event, person, whatever, it can't come with us. And so we have to process it, maybe grieve it so that we can release it. So we live in a society that tells us don't feel your feelings, and you know it's weird if you're thinking about your ex from last year, but in reality what you're doing is basically like a soul retrieval. It's pulling back the parts of you. Yeah, because I'm hearing Rihanna where she goes, and that's not fair. So it's like maybe a lot of you are reflecting back on how, like, how could you do me like that? Or I'm hearing the song Why Did You Leave Us, which is a song about, I think it's his mom with drugs and something like that. So maybe again, having issues with parents, maybe a parent walked out, maybe both of your parents couldn't be what you needed. But this has a lot to do with reflecting so that this 9 of Pentacles can go upright and we feel self-sufficient and independent. Yeah, I'm hearing she's got her own thing, that's why I love her, Miss Independent. Yeah, you're getting your independence, but it's not like, it's not just money. It's like internal strength is what you're creating. So even if you're feeling low right now, if you're feeling a little anxious, if you're feeling a little overwhelmed, I'm hearing like slow and steady wins the race. The tortoise won, not the hare. Take inventory of what's going on, feel your feelings, release them, because they're not meant to come with you on the next chapter of your life. And as long as you lean into this and go, you know what, I do deserve better. And with this 6 of Cups, that's a soulmate card. So if we're releasing relationships that don't serve us, that tells me that you're getting into alignment with who you're meant to be, which means you're going to align with soul family, soul mates, whatever it is that you're looking for. If you're not into, you know, the labels, then you're going to be attracting people that are healthier for you and are actually, yeah, because I'm hearing the song, we were meant to live for so much more. Have we lost ourselves? So maybe some of you have dealt with like surface level connections, people that just didn't really meet your needs. And maybe because you had to learn to survive young, you didn't even know what your needs were. And so we're learning who we are, or we're about to, or we're already in the process of it, so that we can become enlightened within self and empowered within self, so that we can bring in bigger and better things. What I'm hearing is the sky's not the limit, the sky's the ceiling, and you could break right through it if you believe in yourself. So yeah, I mean, this reads beautiful to me. It's like I'm empowering myself. I'm getting in touch with my inner child. I'm flipping out if I have to. I'm honoring my emotions. And when I'm done with this chapter where I'm grieving and I'm just flipping out and just, you know, going through the negative emotions, But with every, you know, yin yang, there's balance. So if we lean into the darkness and we feel and we release, then we're going to have that level of lightness. Like Spirit's drawing me to when, you know, I first found out that my fiance passed, and I cried a lot. But within like the first 2 weeks, I started to feel a little bit lighter, because a lot of time, yeah, they're drawing me to my science reference. Energy cannot be created nor destroyed. And that's where a lot of disease comes from, when we push that shit down. So when we feel it and we release it, our body gets to heal. So some of you may be tired. Some of you may just be like, bro, literally one day at a time is all I can take. But just honor what you're feeling. Be the best friend that you need right now. Be the spouse you wish you had or need right now. Be the parent you wish you had or need right now. Self-care is a main focus, as well as just honoring what's coming up for you. Past memories that may have hurt, because I'm telling you, as we release the old, we make way for the new. Think of spring cleaning, right? You clean out the house so you can make room for new. You're making room for new. Better is coming in, so please allow it and allow yourself to fall back and feel, so that you can be a magnet to bigger and better. So I'm going to leave it here, besties. Please let me know in the comment section down below if this resonated for you. But without further ado, we are going to dive straight into the reading. As always, alleged and for entertainment purposes only. No facts ever whatsoever. No facts here, okay? And if you'd like to book a I cannot talk, y'all. If you'd like to book a private reading with me, thekarmicdf.com. But without further ado, is the Antichrist real? Is there any semblance of truth behind it? And if so, let's figure out any and all information regarding it. All alleged and for entertainment purposes only. Happy spooky season if you're seeing this around Halloween week. But let's get into it. All right, besties, so we are going to take a look and see if there's any validity to this Antichrist story. So as always, thank you to everybody that sits through 30 seconds of ads. It's a free and easy way to support my page. And if you're new here, bestie, smash that subscribe button, turn on the notification bell so that you do not miss out. And don't forget to always check the community polls, because y'all vote for these. So, all right, I don't even know what to say. Let's just get into it. Is it real? What do we need to know? Hiding your true self in the reverse. Okay, that's interesting. Masquerade in the reverse. That's interesting. Envious gluttony in the reverse. Back deck, addicted in the reverse. Huh. I'm not gonna lie. This reads to me like a scare tactic by the church, if I'm being honest. I almost wonder if, however the story was originally written, because you know what I'm seeing is I'm seeing someone writing on what looks like a Bible, and then I'm seeing them erase and then rewrite. So again, I've done a lot of readings on the Bible and things like it, so I'll link those types of videos in the description box. But I feel like, yeah, because I'm hearing the song The Rest Is Still Unwritten, so I feel like this was written in as like a fear tactic. Because with hiding your true self in the reverse is actually kind of giving me this vibe of like, what have we been covering, right? Those that don't know history are doomed to repeat it. So if it's in the reverse, it's like, what do we know? And I'm not trying to drag anybody that's, you know, religious, because I don't think there's anything wrong with the tool of religion. It's how people weaponize it. But this reads to me like what we know about religion. Hiding your true self in the reverse tells me that like it's what we know about them. And then masquerade in the reverse, literally the same thing. And then envious gluttony would be like, you know, I mentioned this in another video where it's like, if we create a problem, then we create a solution, like the narcissist rule, so that like you rely on me and don't trust yourself. That's kind of the vibe that I'm getting here, if I'm being honest. I almost wonder, like, I don't know, I obviously wasn't around for this, but I almost wonder if there was some sort of like fight for land back in the day, or fight for power, because this is kind of reminding me of like what our politicians do today. Create a problem to create the solution so that we have faith in them. That's kind of the vibe that I'm getting so far. Especially with addicted in the reverse being on the back deck. This is like a self-sabotage. So it's like, if we create a monster, then you'll be chained to us. See the chain on his neck? So, do I think the Antichrist is real? Not based on these cards, but I'm going to pull a couple more. I knew I'd see that card. I knew I'd see that card. This would be like a leader that was like obsessed with control. Triumph of Lies. I wonder if, like, during the time that this was written, if someone was starting a new journey into their, you know, political career. Because it reads so much to me like, if you guys watched my 9/11 reading, if you know, you know. Like, that's kind of the vibe. I'll link that in the description box, too. I'm writing it down as we speak. But with the I won't cry for you in the reverse, it's kind of giving me like, if we offer you a problem, then we can offer you the solution. And then I think throughout time, you know, the people that originally created this, they're gone, right? And so it just became kind of like today's myths. And so some people obviously believe in it because it's like for instance, I'm being drawn to the fact that we've done a reading where we looked at Jesus, and Jesus is more of like a modern day prophet. So why would he like resurrect himself to like fight evil? Like, it just logically, it doesn't make sense. And this is coming from a psychic reader. So that's telling you something. You know what I mean? I do think there was some sort of fear. I think there was religious fear going on at the time, but it doesn't feel like it stems from anything legit. Like, if anything, this would be like, I'm trying to make a name for myself. Again, it just reminds me so much of creating a problem so I have the solution. There's suddenly an outbreak, and now I have the medicine. You know what I mean? Like, that's kind of the vibe here. But I think we'll be able to get more from the tarot. Atonement. Again, people that have followed me long term, cards like this always remind me of the Ten of Swords. So if they're reversed, that's a self-sabotage. Today for tomorrow, it's like, this is like trying to keep people in line so that they... This feels like religious indoctrination. It really does. I'm not going to lie. If people change, we won't have control over them. So if we give them something to fear, they'll stay in line today for tomorrow. I give you fear so that you don't think about elevating yourself tomorrow. Do you see what I mean? So far, I'm calling BS. But let's see where this originated from, because I would not be shocked if it was some sort of like leader or whatever. And maybe there was some sort of evil, but so far I'm not seeing it. But let's take a look at the cards. All right, besties. So we're going to take a look at the cards. As always, thank you to everybody. This is through 30 seconds of ads. And don't forget to smash that subscribe button, bestie, because we are going to be getting into some weird-ish with all the P. Diddy scandal alone. So, all right. What is the Antichrist? What do we need to know? Separation. Magician. What's not seen? Ace of Wands is a regret. This is a past. This would be like if a leader made up some shit so that you would follow. This is giving me follow the leader. Like King of Cups. Oh, I'm strong and accomplished, and I care about you with that cup energy, because, right, emotions. And it's like, here he is on his throne, and it's kind of giving me, like, how do I control public perception with that Judgment card in the reverse? Because Judgment, think public, right? So if it's in the reverse, it's like, I got to make sure everybody follows in line. And this is also reminding me of how they all look like zombies, which, think about today's verbiage, right? They're sheep. We call people sheep when they fall in line. It's kind of giving me that same vibe. It's like whoever was a leader back when this was originally written, so a long ass time ago, they were trying to perfectly curate something so that people felt stuck, so that they would have, I'm hearing the song Lean on Me When You're Not Strong and I'll Be Your Friend. So it's like some guy came up with an idea to keep people from tapping into their own intuition, tapping into their own life force energy. It very much, I keep seeing imagery like herding cows and herding sheep. So it's like whoever this person was, they were a leader and they wanted people to fall in line with that Magician card. It's like, I'm going to create something to worry about. I'm hearing the song Let's Give Them Something to Talk About. So it's like, I'm going to create something to make you worry so that you feel like you're stuck. I don't know, y'all. This ain't passing the vibe check for me so far. I almost wonder if some of it even got lost in translation. Because I'm being drawn to how, like, now they're saying that it's certain people, like, it could have been Hitler, it could have been, like, first of all, and again, this is not me being a MAGA person, but if it was Trump, don't you have to be Antichrist? What is he known for? Pushing his religion on everybody. So again, not making sense here. So I do feel like this was meant to be like a fear tactic / story. And I think it's been mistranslated throughout time. Because think of the game of telephone, right? How many times just regular people with good intentions could have fucked up? Think about Spanish translation from English. The words are very different, right? Like, I mean, you get the point. This would be like if whoever was in control or in power in that point in time, it wasn't working. Like, it's like they're not listening to me by me playing. I almost wonder if this could have been like, or just history repeating itself, the beginning of people learning that they can't control others unless they start fear tactics. Because it's reminding me of a statistic where people are more likely to watch the news if it's sad and scary versus if it's a happy story. So I almost wonder, I don't know who the leader would have been all the way back in the day, you know what I mean? But whoever they were, their work, however they were moving about, it wasn't working for them. So it's like, I need to find a way forward. Let's create fear. Look at how in this Six of Swords, there's a guy that's abusing it. So again, this reads to me like any modern day narcissist. I'm going to create a problem so I can create a solution. I also need to move the camera. I apologize. That is better. Okay. All right, more Spirit team. What do we need to know about the Antichrist? This is like an opportunity. I'm telling you, this would be like a leader that needed... Is this just so simple that it's simple? Not them lying. I'm so shocked. I'm so shocked. Impure intentions next to an emperor. What's that? A world leader. He's literally got a gun over the globe. So I feel like someone used this as an opportunity. Look at all these aces. I'm turning this in an opportunity to control. I mean, his gun is literally over the globe. So it's like, this is very much reminding me of cult energy. Like, what is it? I might hurt somebody's feelings. I apologize. I forget which religions we can't talk about these days. But it's reminding me of the whole, like, God's going to come and only grab 144,000 of us. That might be Mormon or something like that. I don't remember. But it's kind of giving me that. It's like, if you think that you're in danger, you're going to listen to me and you're going to fall in line. And notice how on this Eight of Pentacles, it looks like there's chains attached to it, which is reminding me of like, there's something, the metaphor of that. I can't think one channel. There's strings attached. That's the vibe. It's like, follow me. I can save you. Like, that's the energy of this. I don't know who the leader would have been back then, but that's the vibe. Spirit team, is there any validity to some form of Antichrist? This would be like an ineffective leader. What's hidden? This is, no, sorry, I don't buy this one. This reads to me like religious indoctrination and forcing it onto other people. This would be like, we got to find a way to control. What I'm hearing is our flock, so maybe they talked like that back then, but it's like, we need to make sure that we have balance and control. Because when I think of that, I think of justice system. So it's like, I wonder if they were more, if this was a time where like hangings and like, you know, nicks you off the planet for like the dumbest of shit, like stealing a loaf of bread or something like that. Because it's like, we're trying to keep people in line and we're trying to push the whole, you need to be heterosexual, get married, have children, follow religion, don't question us. And then it's like, again, this is the definition of like creating a problem so that you need us for the solution. I almost wonder if they like threaten people too. Like, I think there was people that didn't buy into this, and I almost wonder if they were like hanged or something to make a lesson out of them. Because I keep being shown scenes of like that thing where they chop your head off. I can't, what is it called? I feel so dumb. Whatever, you know what I'm talking about. The thing with the blade on it. So I almost wonder if back in the day when they created this, anyone who said that it was bullshit was either hung or guillotine. Thank you, Spirit. Guillotine. Eight of Cups. When I dropped that, I heard, don't you walk away from me. So again, it's giving me like a suppression of freedom of speech, especially with that Page of Swords in the reverse. It's like we need to control the theatrics of the home life with that home on the card. It's, you know what it's reminding me of? Pleasantville. Did anybody ever see that movie where it's black and white and it's very like proper and it's like don't have sex and cover up your cleavage and don't be a hoe? Like I think it was the same old theatrics. So they needed to have a big bad for you to be afraid of so that you fall in line. Yeah, it's like taking an opportunity so that I have control. I almost feel like I need to reword this because this just reads to me like history repeating itself again and again and again and again and again, which is why I always tell you, what, bestie? To turn off the news. Exactly. King of Swords is like an ineffective leader who's using their emotions over their logical mind, over their ability to rule effectively, and then I'm being drawn to the fact that he's holding a pawn in his hand. So again, it's just history repeating itself. Yeah. Unequal exchange. Look, the justice scale right there is in reverse. Honestly, I feel the need to repull and ask this differently because I'm getting more of a story of whoever originally put this in the Bible, whether the Bible already existed or if they wrote it when the Bible I don't know, but there's some form of a leader here who felt like they were losing their power, and so they needed to create. Yeah, I'm hearing Eminem. I created a monster. It's giving me that vibe. It's like, I'll create something for you to fear so that you fall in line. What's the back deck? Two of Wands is friction and no way forward. And I love how my throat is going, which again tells me that like I feel like they silenced people that went against the status quo. Like, I feel like you probably had your modern day scientists and modern day logical people going, where's your proof? And they didn't like that. Yeah, I think this had to do with expansion of land at the time, expansion of religion at the time, and ego being high, and also wanting like this cult-like energy. Because see how everybody looks the same? But at that time, it almost looks like they're attacking. So I feel like whoever originally started this, I mean, maybe they believed in it, but I feel like this was a control ploy more than anything else. So what I'm going to do is see if there's any version of something like an Antichrist, because I'm getting more of a story of how this came to be in terms of the Bible. I want to see if there's any, since it's spooky week, if there's any form of like an anti, you know, the opposite of God, the opposite of love and light, if you know what I mean. All right, so basically I worded it as, is there any version of like an anti, you know, God, like a devil, a Satan, not necessarily a devil, just more like a demonic thing that would kind of be simple version of an Antichrist. I don't know. We'll see what happens. This is just for spooky week, so I'm hoping they give me something scary. So as always, thank you to everybody that sits through 30 seconds of ads. Subscribe if you haven't already. And as always, no disrespect to religion. It's just the amount of times that I've looked into Bible stuff and they've rewritten it to fit their narrative is just kind of messed up. But let's give something spooky for the people, Spirit. What is the closest thing? Something similar, demonic. Oh my God, I heard this off camera, but I didn't want to say it because I asked out loud while I was shuffling and they said, your modern day politicians and the people you celebrate. And then look at King of Cups. Who do we know that to be? And then the public eye. So I think what they're getting to is not so much that they're demonic. It's that they're void of empathy, which we would consider to be kind of ungodly, right? Because when we think of God, we think of love and light. The opposite of that would be people with no empathy at all, murderers, stuff like that. So it's like demonic is kind of more of a, what I'm seeing is like yin yang energy. It's like if there's love and light, there has to be an opposite because duality. There's a few things going on. One, the celebrities that we're currently seeing fall down. They're mentioning that. I can't ignore that. That's literally Diddy. But then also there's something here about like, Nope, this is going right back to like being taken away from your bed. Because I looked at that and I was like, wait a second, are you talking about like Freddy? Because like it reminded me of Freddy Krueger, but it was like, no, because look at how you're being removed from your bed and making money from it. So I think Spirit's saying that the closest thing, and maybe this is what they might have, because I'm being drawn to like prophets. I feel like prophets might have predicted. I don't know if it's necessarily the Bible, but I wonder if there was, because it's reminded me of like Nostradamus and that type of stuff. Was there like psychics that predicted like you're gonna have because it doesn't, I almost wonder, okay, I'm sorry, I'm channeling a lot, so it's kind of hard to explain what I'm seeing. There's no antichrist in the sense of like there's an anti-God being that's going to come down and fight Jesus, like none of that. It's more like, I think what they were picking up on, at least the prophets, not the fear-mongers, was that we were headed into a direction in terms of our evolution where there is a void of empathy as a whole on Earth right now. Whether that's because of the people that rule that are void of empathy because of what's happened to them and then they passed up the baton. But then also there's like a lack of empathy as a whole because social media has got a rise of narcissistic tendencies because we are looking externally for validation. And then when we don't find it, we feel like we're rejected. And so we lean on money. And so then we become less connected to God because God, at least in this energy, is like, because I don't want to argue God semantics, but in this energy, it's like God is love, it's light, it's understanding that we are all connected, it's understanding that we are all one, that when you win, I win. Like it's that type of vibe. We've disconnected collectively from godlike energy, if that makes sense. So while I think what they're trying to allude to is why the people that are really taking the Bible at like literal value are freaking out right now. They're seeing the void of empathy in the world, which it is scary. That's not a good thing, right? But correlation doesn't always equal causation is kind of the energy here. So if there was prophets that predicted this, I feel like it got lost in translation because what I'm seeing is the rise of narcissism and sociopathy. That's kind of what I'm seeing, which is kind of void of God, if you see what I'm saying, because God is love. And if you're void of love, then that kind of fits with the idea of Antichrist. So if we were to talk about what is closest to Antichrist, it would be your modern day billionaire Hollywood celebrities and politicians and people that have a net worth of like 1 billion and they're getting caught with the shit they're getting caught for. That's kind of the anti-God, if that makes sense. And again, I'm being drawn to the Scooby-Doo reference where they're looking for a monster and they take the mask off and it's their neighbor Bob. Like, it's like sometimes the evil is just, it's not that it doesn't make it any less evil, but the evil is the lack of empathy. It's not this, yeah, because I'm hearing Eminem, I created a monster, but it's like, it's not a literal physical monster. It's not going to be some sort of beast that comes on Earth. It's like, it's already here. Our society is slowly detaching from their heart space, so the evil is what you're feeling, but evil is really just a lack of empathy and sympathy. I'm not saying that's 100% of the cases, but at least that's what they're alluding to right now. It's why I'm so sorry, but I keep hearing it. It's why this is what I'm hearing. It's why the Bible thumpers are losing their mind right now, because right now is a time in history where we are facing the most amount of narcissism and the least amount of empathy at the same time, which is what collectively they're feeling. Because with that magician card, it's like people are manipulating who they are. They're manipulating one another. They're putting on a mask and a facade so we can't trust people anymore. It's reminding me of how a lot of empath people would rather be alone or with animals because people move with a motive and stuff like that. So it's like sometimes the evil is the lack of empathy. It's not a thing that we can't conceptualize. Yeah, I think this is just, again, it's alluding to like for instance, prior to Diddy going down and all that stuff, right? Like those that knew me from TikTok, I went viral back in early 2020 for saying that this shit was going to happen. Everybody and their mother called me crazy. Look what happened. So it's like there's something here about like the fall of empathy and people taking their power back, and not buying into the delusion, because that's the energy that you're feeling that feels demonic. It's a lack of empathy. It's why these people play characters like Jim Carrey, there is no me. Like, that's kind of the vibe here. That's the big bad. That's the evil. It's the disconnect from self and the disconnect from your heart and soul. But then, like, what I'm being drawn to, and we've covered this in other readings, where, like, when you lean into your darkness, there are entities that can, like, attach itself to you and kind of, like, exacerbate the energy. So let's say you're a narcissist and an opportunist, and you want to do a couple F shit because you're a celebrity, and then, like, something from the other side attaches itself and it exacerbates what it is that you're going through. So, like, let's say Diddy, right? There's got to be something attached to that dude at this point. Like, that's kind of the vibe here. But even still, it's like there's some sort of galactic rule. I know this is going to sound nuts, but it's coming through. There's some sort of galactic rule where it's like outside forces can't mess with us because we're a school. And even though we don't remember that, there's like this galactic rule where it's like no one can hurt Earth because it's a school. So it's like your big bads aren't going to be something that comes from the sky and scares the shit out of you. Your big bads are the people in power that are hurting your people and having underground railroad systems, and you're watching evil unfold in front of you right now. So if there was any validity to this book at one point, it would have been more metaphorical. It would have been a prophecy. And what they were seeing was the fall of, because I'm hearing the song, Where is the Love? It's more about that. I feel like the Antichrist was meant to be a metaphor at some point, and then someone switched it into something about, like, what can this do for me so that I can climb up the top. But I think it was more a metaphor of, like, the absence of love. All right, Spirit, any demonic energy? Yeah, this is like the people that you celebrate are the people you need to be worried about. You've seen their bad internet press. You know what it is they're doing. Stop waiting for Google to tell you that it's true. You already know. Why are they connected to so-and-so? I feel like it's not a specific Antichrist. It was a message and a warning to tell us what happens to people when they let go of their empathy and love in the name of greed and for validation externally. That's when you kind of lose touch with God. That's when you lose touch with love. That's when you're more likely to, I almost wonder if, like, this is part of where, like, schizophrenia and that type of stuff goes into play, because it's like you're in a lower vibration because you're sad and you're angry and you're leaning into that darkness, which is how these entities can kind of attach themselves to you. That's kind of the vibe here. Now, I'm not saying that if you're depressed, all of a sudden you have an entity on you. Just, tell your ancestors to protect you. Do something quick. You'll be fine. Don't fear monger yourself, because what I'm getting is more of like, did anyone prophesize something where it was similar to this, but it's more like the fall of humanity? Because that's more how this reads to me. It's like we put up to the top the people. I mean, I've already covered this in a million videos where statistics already prove the higher up you go, the more narcissistic and sociopathic you are. So it's like you already know where your evil is. You're celebrating them, and they're falling down right now with that 10 of Wands and the world. So it's like, it's almost like Spirit's trying to say, we see how you guys are getting this confused because there's a lot of parallels happening here. Like, there's a lot of bad shit going on, and people are worried about the Antichrist, but it almost feels like Antichrist is a metaphor for lack of empathy and love. And we got a shit ton of those types of people running the world right now, the 1%. So you're evil, you're demonic people. They're your celebrities. They're your politicians. They're the people that rule the world. They're Big Farm. They're the news networks that all have the same script. Why is that? Why are Hollywood speaking out for politicians? Like, they're asking you to think bigger picture, because this big bad is not going to be something that, like, falls from the sky and it's not human, or it looks like no, it's nothing that theatrical is what I'm hearing. It's not going to be like a horror movie where they make it all big, and it's more like a time in history that was supposed to come that is now here,
which is why the people that follow the Bible can feel it. But it's almost like it's supposed to help us elevate as a species. We're supposed to wake up and realize what's going on and then like cancel the higher up so that we could come back to love. It's almost like right now we're in a very pivotal moment in our soul's evolution as a species together, like not just one of us, like it's like the planet, especially with that world card right there. So it is a big event for us currently in terms of evolution of our species, but we have to have a big bad in order to take our power back. So that's kind of where the Antichrist is coming from to an extent. Yeah, this is like everybody with their bad business practices, everybody getting called out right now for their, you know, sitting in traffic and playing with kids. You know what I mean? Like that's your evil. So, I mean, I guess you could counter argue, yeah, that's who runs runs our world right now. So it's not entirely off, but it just feels like it was lost in translation and someone in power at one point rewrote it so that they could get further ahead in life and create fear so that people listen. I think in our lifetime, we're going to get free from most of this. I think we're meant to see it fall apart so that we can come back in touch with love and empathy and connection with one another, because we've been in this headspace where it's like it's us against the world. Let's just focus on our money and our independence and not one another. It's like there's this evolution shift that's happening for us right now. And that's why people can feel and then associate what the Bible says with what's going on today. There is some sort of similarity here, but I keep hearing correlation does not equal causation. Yeah. Yeah, Queen of Swords is like, reminds me of books and studying. It's like, we don't have the full picture, but the evil is what we're already seeing. Yeah, and it's ending anyway, so we don't really have to do much and we don't have to worry about it. I think, like we've been saying in all the regular readings, this is going to be, you know, slow and steady wins the race. People are going to be outed so that it's reminding me of how the Ten of Swords is like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So it's like they're going to get people. Yeah, I'm hearing the song One Step at a Time. So it's like they're going to get the bad guys one at a time so that our mental and our psyche can handle it. But if you only knew how many like thousands of evils are behind the scenes that were helping the musicians and all of that, that would be the Antichrist, because they are void of God. They are void of love. But I don't think that there is a specific Antichrist that's supposed to come out. And no, I don't feel none of that. I just think that a mixture of like astrologically speaking and human evolution speaking, we've kind of lost ourselves, and it's kind of reminding me of like we have to lose ourselves to find ourselves. So right now what we're seeing is evil incarnate, but they're still just humans, and we're supposed to make ourselves independent from that in this lifetime, which is why it feels so intense right now, because we're basically reaching like a conclusion in human evolution where we're not kind of slaves to the system anymore, which is why it feels like the evil's on steroids, because the cycle has to end. So it's like right now we feel like we're in this holdup because we're educating ourselves to what's going on and how all these people that we supported were doing fucked up shit behind the scenes. And while it's scary, it's elevating our consciousness and it's elevating us. So your big bads are the people we already know about. There's no specific. I don't feel a specific. Yeah, this always reminds me of like VMAs and stuff like that. So it's like your opportunists today, the people that won and blew up on the backs of your average person. Those are your big bads. Those are your evils, because they're thinking strategically to control the world in one way or another. It's reminding me again of how Big Farm is buddies with the politicians, buddies with celebrities. It's like, y'all shouldn't be cross-contaminating. Why do we have commercials for drugs when that's illegal in other countries? You see what I'm saying? So it's like, I just keep being drawn back to the Scooby-Doo reference. The evil monster is always the guy next door. You know what I mean? Yeah, Three of Swords, heartbreak. It's like you already know, but we're kind of still clinging on to it because as besties were kind of not really ready to let go. Like, it's reminding me of how I'll get a viral video and people will be like, you're so mean to so-and-so. And it's like, bro, I literally just channeled. I'm not emotionally invested in any of these people, to be honest with you. I think what's really going on is we're seeing through the facades of people pretending to be love and light when in reality it's like they're just making money and fame and success off of our backs. So, yeah. I don't know how you guys feel about that. Let me know down in the comments below. I could see how celebrities and politicians could be, but it just doesn't feel like there's a specific antichrist that's meant to fight Jesus. Like, I don't feel none of that. I almost wonder if it was like a prophecy that was meant to help us see what's coming, because it's just like the big bad is the lack of empathy towards humanity as a whole that we can all consciously feel because it's so prominent, especially in Hollywood and politics and pretty much anyone, not everyone, but you know, the people we're looking at sideways that make at least 6 figures. Like, those are your modern day antichrists if you want to go that route. So I'm going to leave it here, besties. I hope that you guys enjoyed this. Let me know in the comments down below if you did. Let me know what you guys have heard as well, because this did not pass the vibe check. I could see why they would think it'd be a politician, but no, it's not a specific politician. It feels more like the accumulation of us disconnecting from our emotional body throughout history that's created this narcissistic society. And I feel like there might have been prophets in the past that predicted this, but again, it just doesn't feel like one specific, and it doesn't feel like anybody who's going to bring Jesus back from the death. Like that, none of that. No, it's more like a human evolution, and we're right on the cusp of that right now. So that kind of sounds exciting, at least. So I'm going to leave it here, besties. thekarmicdf.com if you want to book a private reading with me. Subscribe if you haven't already. Don't forget to check out the description box for any of the readings that I mentioned. But I will see you guys in my next videos.